because I've seen you involved in various different things, some of which you've already talked about, Stolen the City, Soul Survivor, Hope Away, I know that your heart is for community involvement, social action, which are areas where evangelicals in the past have been a little bit wary of treading into for fear of diluting the gospel in some people's views or not proclaiming the gospel. How do you evaluate the attitude of most evangelicals to social action after the last 10 years where perhaps there's been more work in that area?
I think, John, that there's been quite a shift. I think you're absolutely right. I think in a few years ago there were those that were very strong on the action part, and there were those that were very strong on the words type. And actually, often they didn't really talk together very well, and when they did talk together, they didn't talk together particularly well. I just think, and it's not just been the things that I've been involved in, I think there's been a whole host of initiatives where God has been bringing those two things together. And I think it's a marriage made in heaven. I think, you know, putting together the call to us to be good news, demonstrate good news, alongside this wonderful gospel that we have, which is good news, which is about people's lives being transformed and giving their lives to Christ. Those two things coming together. To me, it's modelled in the life of Jesus. You can't look at the life of Jesus without seeing the words of Jesus and the actions of Jesus, and the church putting those two together. It's if we don't do it, it's not the whole gospel.
Mm. And do you think that, as well as some of these high-profile things that we've been talking about, do you think that in local situations and in everyday lives, Christians' lifestyles have been changed by the impact of this change, this trend? Yeah,
I think initiatives like what happened in Manchester in 2000, what happened in London in 2004, Soul in the City, what's happened all over the country in Hope 08, has kind of given the church, I think it's given it fresh confidence, it's given its opportunity to engage with their communities, local councils, local police, those kind of things. But just one-off weeks here and there, they're important as a catalyst, but that can't be it. It has to be week in and week out on the ground, engaging in our communities. And I'm seeing that happening. We talked about street pastors, but I could give you a whole host of other kind of initiatives that are taking place, which are the church digging into their communities, recognising there's a need and responding to that need.